some days surviving is more than enough. Have you ever found yourself fully in flow, moving with momentum and purpose and excitement about the future, about your goals, and then suddenly everything kind of comes to a halt and all you need to do is just eat, sleep, rest, and breathe? After being in sort of like this portal where I'm like tapped into the future and I'm driven by purpose and I have so much clarity and excitement and energy. Everything was so exciting, so fresh, so clear. And then yesterday rolls around, my body suddenly was like, I can't keep up, slow the F down. So I want to talk a little bit about survival in the grand scheme of things, given that sometimes, even if you are aiming to live a life where you thrive, there are days where simply surviving is enough. And simply surviving is part of the process. First of all, my name is Rose. If you're interested in more videos on alignment, manifestation, transformation, and healing, please hit that subscribe button to support my channel. I post 3 times a week and a short every day. It is amazing to be driven to do more, to expand beyond just the basics. But sometimes the basics are what help us integrate our growth or check in and see how far we've come. So we often think of life as like, or at least we're conditioned to sort of see life and things as like this sort of, we want it to be like this uphill where it's just clear, every step is forward, every step is in the right direction, and that's not reality. Life is more of like a spiral. Life often flows in a way that almost mirrors the 4 seasons. Expansion mirrors springtime. The seeds start to sprout a little bit. We start to see a little bit of the results, the fruits of our labor. That's sort of where I've personally been. I think I've been very much in an expansion phase. Things were making sense, building momentum, seeing a little bit of results. Not the full thing, but some results. After the initial expansion phase, we have a contraction. This is sort of like the peak of summer or early autumn when things start to sort of shift. Thinking about the leaves gradually losing color or changing colors and then eventually falling, where we can sometimes have doubts. We can sometimes feel resistance. We can sometimes feel tired. What may have been exciting before starts to feel a little bit more heavy. In this phase, you may even question, like, have I gone too far? Was this the right direction? The reason for this phase is to slow you down, to bring you back down to reality, to prevent you from burnout, and to prevent you from going too far, from going in the wrong direction, to refine the process, to reflect. The next phase is all about recalibration. So this is sort of like when autumn turns into winter. This is when you might feel really tired, really unmotivated, very unclear or foggy about your direction, about your purpose, more emotional, maybe experiencing grief, confusion, vulnerability. You might crave more rest or even isolation. And life starts to quiet down, maybe even especially externally. The winter is where you start to become rewired from the inside out. It's when your nervous system is catching up to all the change that's happening on the surface. Old versions of you are actively falling away. It's a tender, exhausting, confusing time, but it's sacred and necessary. I think it's very human for us to focus on what's happening outside of ourselves. We want to see just the fruits of our labor and not what has to happen on the back end in order for all of that to start flowing. But the reality is, in order to embody a new identity or manifest a new reality, there needs to be a lot of rewiring and release of the old, and then integrating the new. And that's painful, confusing, difficult, quiet, not as glamorous as some people may have you think it is. And the winter is when the new frequency really anchors in. This is when it becomes really real, where there's no going back, where it is fully embodied. And the final stage is the emergence phase. This is like late winter and early spring, when subtle inspiration just starts to creep in little whispers. It brings a sort of fresh sense of self. You might feel a little more cautious, but gradually ready. You may start to move, maybe slowly, but with newfound clarity because of all that new integration. The purpose of this phase is to test your footing in the new paradigm that you just stepped into. In this phase, you don't need full confidence. You just need a little bit of curiosity and a lot of it of presence and breath. This is where you plant the seeds that will bloom later. And then you'll repeat the cycle as you continue to refine who you are and what you are trying to grow and expand into. Alignment is a life of richness and fulfillment and truth, and that is beautiful, but it does not come without true evolution. And with evolution means cycles of expansion and contraction and integration and release, and that is not a glamorous process. A lot of people who post or share on topics of alignment or transformation do it either in hindsight or focus mostly on the spring phase. It's just so important to acknowledge that that is part of the process, and even though it may feel like you're going backwards, or it may feel like you're encountering all these issues from the old paradigm that you thought you had released or overcome, they're happening for a reason. Not only is it a reminder of the world that you're leaving behind, but it's a reminder of the version of you that you have outgrown, the way that you may have experienced it before. Whether you are re-experiencing it in the same way or reacting to things in the same way, you're likely more aware of the way you're reacting to it, right? That awareness alone is enough to show change. Even if you still fall into certain habits, it's okay, and you need to forgive yourself in order to move forward, in order to kind of free yourself and let it go. And then just simply letting yourself be. If you need a day or two or more to just put on some comfortable clothes, put on a face mask if you like that, lay on the couch, turn on the TV, make some really comfy, cozy food, and just survive. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is such a brave thing to do, especially if you are someone who puts a lot of pressure on yourself to do more. Let yourself just survive sometimes. Because if you can just let yourself exist and just be in those moments, you're actually kind of also expanding your capacity, you're conditioning your nervous system to handle this new identity, this new paradigm that you're stepping into. You're letting your nervous system catch up. You're letting everything catch up. And you can't do that if you keep running forward. Your nervous system's gonna there's just gonna be even more of a lag, right? And that's gonna hurt you a lot more later. So it's okay to breathe, it's okay to rest, and what you need to understand is you have not fallen behind just because you need a moment to breathe and catch up. So give yourself the time that you need, all of it and more, and when the time is right to step back into a new flow, you'll feel it, because you'll feel refreshed and you'll have a new sense of clarity and energy. Even if it's subtle, you will feel it and you'll know. And that's when you can move forward. Once you've integrated all the different changes that you've been making, all the things that have been sort of working behind the scenes. Just remember, life works in seasons. With every expansion must come contraction. With every integration comes release. And that's just the way life is. And if we can embrace all of the seasons for what they are and what they teach us, everything becomes easier. Everything becomes more balanced. The more you realize how connected everything really is, and how literally everything has a purpose in the greater scheme of things. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped. Please leave a comment to let me know that you are surviving, that you are here with me. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you at all. Please subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.